And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 69. Nice. Your weekly dose of Open StarCraft. I'm, of course, your host, the Live VIP, with you. I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Whew, as we are jumping into the first round, exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we are jumping into said round of 16. Our first round match. ZVP. Oh my god. Okay, let's go. This morning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the yellow Protoss player. We have the Korean Protoss. It is Perceive. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. Jump on in. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our PVZ. Coming into this, YoungYakov is the favorite player to go far in this event, but we'll see how Perceive does compare. Fun fact, I don't think I've ever casted Perceive before. Percival, yes, but Perceive is a newer face to the scene, newer face to the region from South Korea, and I don't think I've had the luxury of covering some Perceive action, so I'm ready. I do not know what to expect. I know he's been on the grind. That much I do know. Yeah, good. But he has been on the grind. Again, hope everyone's doing well for themselves. Everyone's doing well. Aha. So again, we have a full week of StarCraft ahead of us. I did enjoy last night, at least, having an evening off. We were playing some Final Fantasy. We were streaming some Final Fantasy, and the Chichi had a bit of an incident. Este Chichi. I think Kuro made a clip about it, which was exploring the room, and then she may have had a bit of an accident, but she's okay. She's okay. Este Chichi. Este Chichi. But regardless, we are delving into our best of 3. Once again, I don't really know what to expect out of Perceive. I'll be honest, I thought it was a Terran player. Based on brackets, we've seen a lot of TVTs between Perceive and Percival even as well. So I'm a little bit surprised to see Protoss out of Perceive instead. I will actually ask a little bit later to find out whether or not Perceive is actually a main Protoss or not. We might have to fix that on Wikipedia. True. Might have to fix that. But otherwise, Hatchcat's Pool, standard opener here by YoungYakov. We don't really expect anything too crazy out of Yakov until the mid game. Once we get into the mid game, that's when we can embrace 3 base all-ins, and I do expect to see that here on Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map, so it does favor more aggressive builds and aggressive styles. Meanwhile, Twilight Council out of Perceive. Okay, that is not normal, that is not standard. Going straight Twilight Council here often does lead into Glaive Adepts. That's what's on my mind, but we do have some options here with how aggressive and how committed we want to be. Oh, as Perceived, did go Zealot first. Interesting. Did go Zealot first, moves out across the map, followed up by the Stalker. The Stalker ideally should be designed to deny vision, deny scouting, but there's a second Overlord on the way. Yeah, second Overlord is coming in. First one is going to be pinned down. Zealot should be cleaned up. Zero Lings, zero Queens. Oof, yeah, 0 damage with the Zealots. And behind this is going to be early Blink, not Glaive Adepts. Okay, I mean, regardless, hyper aggression, but alongside this, we should be seeing extra gateways. Robo's now on the way as well. Overlord dips in, the Overlord does confirm the Twilight Council. So Yakov is fully aware. I mean, is aware of that we're being hyper aggressive at least, and it's going to be essentially a 2 base all in. Not aware it's Blink, but aware of aggression. So back at him, we'll be getting ready. We're getting a Roach Warren, building up Roaches, building up Lings, cutting workers a little bit earlier. There's the gateway explosion. So 4 gates. Oh no, the Lings! Lings, they slip in. Lings, they should get a full scouts, and they at least see extra gates. See 1 extra gateway. And another. Oh my, the wall's just wide open. Yeah, it's wide open. Lings, they flooded in, they take down the Stalker. Stalker goes down. Probe as well, even surrounding the Adepts. No shot. Yeah, brutal surrounds here. The SimCity, the wall off is lacking. Boys are being pulled. Lings, they can just fight head on. They're more than happy to. And before we can really get into our 2-base all-in, Perceive is hurting. Oof. Yeah. Those things that do keep chasing. Getting on top of the pylon. No shot. Do they just depower everything? Oh my god. The Artosis pylon. No. Depowers the robo. Depowers this pylon console. There's no immortal. There's no blink. We have depth swarping in. That nice mineral walking here with the probes. Okay. We got some moves. Yeah, we'll eventually hit this up. As I say that, though, the wall is still open. Lanes they keep flooding in. And once again, they collapse on the depths. And once again, though, I feel like maybe blink was a mistake. Warping into depths like this. I mean, there's no upgrade anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, and this is game-winning damage. As more lings are flooding in. Yeah, they make their way into the bases. They come into this round, killing 13, 16 probes. Warping in even more depths, and eventually Perceive will clean this up. Eventually Perceive will hold, but at a cost. At a cost as he's down to 18 workers. 1 base economy remaining here for Perceive. And back at home, roach production. Back at home, we have 2 gases. We have at least some saturation. Roaches are on the way. Lings that can no longer rush into the natural. But that's what the roaches are for. The roach is back. Lair is done. Roach speed is on the way. We have 14 cheeses, 14 roaches. That is more than enough. And honestly, if YoungYakov wanted to, he could just push now. He could just push now and end it. But it looks like he's playing it safe. Looks like he wants to wait for roach speed. Taking extra gases, droning up somewhat. Just making sure he's safe and secure. Calming down. Hello, news to town. Hello, bienvenidos. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. As roaches they poke in. Again, they can just break through the natural. Oh my, that's a lot of sentries. Jesus. Without Ravagers, technically Perceive can hold on here. But a couple of Ravagers do morph in. And they break down the force fields. And the army floods on forward here. Y'all hallucinated Colossus, let's go! I appreciate hallucinations, but in the end, the Roach Ravager should overwhelm and does. It breaks through the depths, the sentries, the everything, boys are being pulled once again. The final stand here for Perceive. And YoungYakov will look to take a lead. We'll look to take a lead here as we open a couple of zealots are running out of money, running out of steam. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. YoungYakov does take a lead. Some interesting play here by Perceive. Very interesting. Unfortunately, because of the lack of wall and because of the lack of SimCity, we didn't really get to see his build come into play, right? He was going for a 2-base all-in, was building up to 5, if not 6 gateways, going into Blink, going into Immortal production as well. But again, it was all just shut down before we could really get going, with Blink being denied, with the Immortal being denied as well, with that pylon going down, with it being surrounded, everything just kind of fell into chaos early on. GG. GG, well played. What happened? The pants were down, Bobby. The pants were down, and with that, Perceive was caught out of position. Caught with his pants down, Bobby. His pants down. And with that, YoungYakov takes the lead. But remember, this is a best of 3, so we're going to be jumping into game 2, and we'll see how Perceive approaches here in game 2. Bearing in mind that, again, previously I thought he was a Terran player, not to be confused with Percival, of course. But I'm curious if Perceive does race switch here, and we could see something different. Let's go. Let's go. As we are picking that next game. Oh, okay. Game 2 is going to be a Winter Madness. Let's go. Let's go. Also, bienvenidos, Getya in the chats. Slow Joe as well. Bienvenidos. PiGosaur 69. Nice. True. Bienvenidos. As we are loading into a much larger map, going to be loading into Winter Madness. Winter Madness is known for longer macro games here. Again, the rush distance by ground is longer on this map, so aggression is less favorable. There's a reason why we saw the Link Flood from YoungYakov and Ruby Rock, and why we saw the attempted 2-base all-in. Here, we should be calming down, but we'll see. We'll see. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the yellow Protoss. Oh, it is Perceive. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. After the series, we'll be going over the brackets. We'll be catching up with the upcoming matches as well. We'll get there. We'll get to the brackets. Until then, we're opening up hatch gas pool. Standard opener, there's no early gases, no early spawning pool, no early aggression or shenanigans out of YoungYakov. Likewise, Perceive should be going gate expand as well. Now, there were some inefficiencies last game from Perceive, for example, going for the initial zealots and going across the map. Hopefully we can tighten up the early game here a little bit more and delve into the mid game. But eyes are on Perceive when it comes to the tech of choice. Going for a Twilight Council opener last game was a little bit telling. It wasn't telling that he was going for an all-in, but it was telling that he's more of an unorthodox player. Like, Twilight Council openers are very rare nowadays, especially Twilight Council into Blink. It does look like Perceive has been experimenting with his own kind of builds and his own kind of setup, and we'll see what he has to show us here. What do you have for us, Matt? For now, gate expand. Settling in. Once again, it's going to be on YoungYakov to scout, to set up his overlords, to get ready to rush into the bases. Forward shout to the spray. Ideally, if you're a Protoss player and if you do plan on hiding tech and going for an all-in, it is going to be on you to deny the scout. Deny the scout, shut it down, get your stalkers, get your void ray. This is often why, if Protoss players are going for something more tech heavy, they often do open Stargate into Void Ray to confirm the kill on those overlords, to hide their tech. Once again, Twilight Council opener. Okay, Twilight Council opener. Meanwhile, at the same time, Adept is on the way, not Stalker, which means this overlord just gets a free scout. We just waddle in. Just load on in. For now, playing it safe, pulls back. YoungYakov doesn't know whether or not there is a Stalker or an Adept on the way. But again, that's a very early council. Arguably too early. Like, do we have enough money to start the initial upgrade here? Yeah, that's we'll get there. So once again, Blink is going to be on the way. So rushing into early Blink. But again, this is very early here. This is off of only one gateway so far. We should be building up into a higher gateway count into the robo once again. But Yakov will confirm. Load hits in, does confirm. Behind this, Edif does get surrounded. I believe he gets one drone. Ooh, zero. Zero damage here. Drone was saved. Ay, ay, ay. Adept was shut down. Yakov confirms. And again, the Blink is going to finish quite early here. Again, I feel like this is a little bit mistimed. We'll see. So we have our Roach Warren on the way. See, Perceiving a safety pylon. For now, Yakov is just droning. There's no need to overreact anytime soon. Just drone up, saturate, take 2 gases, build up your lings. But this is what I meant when I said that this feels very mistimed. This was a Twilight Council after the Gate Cybercore, after the Nexus, before second gateway, before any other tech. This Blink timing, it's going to finish very early, but it's not going to hit with anything. Like, there's going to be no army. Like, we're not going to have any Stalkers make use of the early Blink timing. So it feels a little bit premature here from Perceive. As we're building up to 6 gateways, so it's going to be a 2-base 6 gate all in. Looks like a very similar build to last game. I say similar because the robo is much later this time. So much later robo. The model production has begun. Ooh, did I say 6 gates? We're getting up to 7. Okay. and we're going to charge afterwards. Oh yeah, this is it's very inefficient. We're investing into a lot of upgrades, and because of that as well, it's going to hit later. Like, we just got Blink, now we're investing into charge, and now we're investing into a Temple Archives, into Archon production. It's going to hit it's going to be a much more delayed all in here. It's going to be delayed, and it's also going to be very tech heavy. It's going to be very expensive with the kind of army we're trying to construct. And Yakov has time to drone, getting it to 2.5 base saturation. Lair is on the way for road speed. And here comes Perceive. Again, it's a bit of a kitchen sink of an all-in. We got one Archon, we got one Zealot. Charge on the way. So have our Mass Wings Walker getting ready. A couple of Slows warping in as well. The Ravager's coming in for the snipe. Oh, he wants a Prism. Oh my god, cheeky moves there by Yakov. Very cheeky. Yeah, the War Prism hit squad here. Peeling off on the right hand side. Yakov, he doesn't know where the War Prism is. Gotta be careful. He does keep it back. Once again going in, he wants that Prism. Oh my god! 3 on Siege. Very nice catch here. 3 Ravagers, they go down. YoungYakov, he gets punished. He's down to 1 Ravager. That's concerning. Down to 1. That leaves me for a counterattack. At the same time, the all-in continues. There's the safety Spine Cooler. Queens are pushing forward as well. The Lings, they flood in. They'll be able to cover the economy. They ensure no more reinforcements. And no more reinforcements. Yakov, he has to stand and fight though. Spine Cooler goes down. Losing the hatchery does not matter. And so far, kiting back, picking up all the Zealots. Yeah, waste DPS here. We have Stalkers and Archons firing at the hatchery. Zealots, they go down for free. And Lings, they bust into the main. Essentially, Yakov, he was using his third base here as a resource, even forcing a recall. Oh no, which means he's fighting with half his army. Ay, ay, ay. Immortal goes down, not enough room in the Prism. And Yakov, he will just chase on Perceive. At the same time, Lings, they wreak havoc. 44 probes going down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the all-in has been shut down. Oof. Catching up more Stalkers. And Perceive, sure, he does make it back home. What is it to defend? Nothing. There is 0 probes. 0 probes left. Perceive, he has enough money to make 1 worker. 1 probe. Ay, ay, ay. And Yakov doesn't even have to keep pushing. We just calm down. Now looking down that front door, takes down the cyber core, takes down the gateways. We cannot warp in anything. Is there money to warp in? Yeah, with that Yakov does step forward, takes down the Archons one after the other. And Yakov has done it. It's broken the main army. We have a Spire on the way. GG gets called, and YoungYakov will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, YoungYakov. He will claim the series. Meanwhile, shout out to Perceive for having some quirky builds. Again, we did see a similar variation both game 1 and game 2. Game 1 was unfortunate. The game just ended before it really began. Game 2, we saw the all-in actually come to fruition. But as we mentioned, it was very, I would say, inefficient and ambitious. When you're going for an all-in like this, typically time is of the essence. The longer the game goes on, the worse it's going to be for you. So you want to be as tight as possible. You want to be as efficient as possible, which is why whenever you see a 2-base all-in like this, you typically see like a mass commitment into, say, Mortal Sentry Soul Train, or just Glaive Adepts, or just Blink, or just Charge. Going into multiple upgrades and multiple tech structures slows you down quite heavily, and it even just weakens your army overall, just because you're spreading yourself thin in multiple different aspects. Whether it's warping in some charge slots, for example, which we only have like 4 or 5 of them, warping in like 1 or 2 Archons. Again, it doesn't really benefit too much. It really hurts you more than anything when it comes to your all-in. That's why at the highest level of play, 2-base all-ins look very different to this. They're a little bit more kind of trimmed down and trimmed away at, but that much more effective, I should say, as a result of that. But GG well played with that. YoungYakov does advance on to the next round, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Okay, exclamation mark and be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves, as we already have our next series. Oh, let's head on over. Let's head on over here. We're heading over to the European server, as we'll catch up from the top. ByuN takes down Duck 2-0. ByuN is waiting in the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of Hapsaya and Bomyoja in the second round. Meanwhile, we have YoungYakov. Yakov takes down Perceive 2-0. Shameless takes down the Wayman 2-0. And we have Yakov versus Shameless in the quarterfinals. That is our next series. That is our next series, as long as I'm able to log into Europe. Hold on. Heading on over. But it's going to be Yakov versus Shameless. Hopefully I can get there in time. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So we're entering the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, other updates here is Percival, not to be confused with Perceive, but Percival does take down his opponent 2-0, Aeronautic, and does advance on to the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of Tavito and Solicitous as well. I lean a little bit more towards Tavo, but I know that Tavito is out of practice nowadays. I know he's a little bit more rough around the edges, so best of luck, best of luck. I was very tempted to jump into some Tavo action. Tavito, best of luck. Meanwhile, that leads us into our next series. Scrolling down a little bit further, we do have SOS. SOS takes down Roxas 2-0, and we have Lemon. Lemon takes down his opponent 2-0 as well. So we have SOS versus Lemon in the quarterfinals. Lemon took down Patches 2-0. So again, we had a full round of 16 this week, and the quarterfinals are getting underway. Once again, to reiterate, our next series on the channel is going to be Shameless versus YoungYakov. We're in the upper portion of the brackets, and most likely going to be following Shameless and YoungYakov into ByuN in the upper portion of the bracket as well. As we just got an update, Hapsaya takes down Bomyoja 2-0, and we have a TVP between Hapsaya and ByuN. So the bracket is progressing. There's only one round of 16 match left. That's Tavito and Solicitous. The TVP. Meanwhile, vetoes are done, and we are getting to our fresh series. Let's go. Oh god. They're spamming emotes at each other. Thank you for the new SC2 content. It's improving my lifestyle. Ah, let's go. That's the case. I'm glad. Hope you're doing well. But here we go. We're jumping into our fresh series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. And spawning. What build should I do? I can't drop. In the right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is a Shameless. He's shameless, pappy. Aye. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our ZVP. Best of luck. Not quite working. I'll do it manually. Yeah. So I had to fix that up. Oh no, yeah, it's currently ongoing. Yeah. So predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck, man. Best of luck. As now we have our Hatchcast pool, standard opener at the YoungYakov. Likewise, Shameless going for his own gate expand into Cybercore as well. Gonna be settling in. From here, when it comes to these two players, I do lean towards Shameless. Shameless is the favorite player here between the two, but they're both quite close in skill. They're both up-and-comers from the European region, and they're both very competitive with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way to the ace match. Again, this could go either way. Now, when it comes to our two players here, Shameless is a lot more mid-game oriented, even late game. Like, he does play standard more than anything. Was being a little bit cheeky with YoungYakov, asking what build to go for, but more or less we do expect Stargate into Twilight Council Forge, into the third base, into the mid-game. YoungYakov, on the other hand, can be more aggressive, can be more assertive. I don't feel like the last series really did justice as to how he typically does approach this matchup, how he does approach the mid-game. We'll get more into it though. Oh, Shameless being as annoying as possible, does delay the third base, does cancel though, and oh, just in time. Ideally, ideally Shameless wants to delay for what, 2-3 more seconds for the Adept to arrive. The Adept does shade in, and then the Adept can focus on the drone. So very close, very clutch. In the end though, Shameless was denied. If the Adept gets here in time, kills the drone, then you get a massive lead as you heavily delay the third base of your opponent. But YoungYakov does manage to expand. The Overlord is being hunted down. Remember, there's no pillar here to be safe on. Can he get away? No. The Overlord, get out of here. Come back. He's bobbing. He's weaving. He's weaving away. It's the Overlord. No, okay, there we go. I was like, no, should he gets away. He might actually. Oh my god. Yakov is having fun. Yeah, Ling's here to protect the Overlord. Shameless, does he move out? He doesn't. Yeah, at this point the Overlord does get away. That should not have happened, by the way. Behind this Twilight Council, sorry, Stargate into a third base, into an early Twilight Council. That's a very early council. Because it's so early, I lean towards Glaive Adepts. Gateways are being turned down as we speak. So leaning towards Glaives here. Meanwhile, Eva Chamber out of YoungYakov going to +1 melee. This tells us that YoungYakov wants to skip Roaches, that wants to skip Banelings, and go into Ling Hydra. We'll see if he does get a safety Roach Horn though. See if he does get it for safety. If not, he will be in danger, he'll be in trouble. Twilight Council is done, show us the upgrade of choice. What do you have for us? There it is, Glaives. As you mentioned, early council typically means Glaive Adepts. And this is why I mentioned that because Yakov is going to +1 melee, this is benefiting Shameless. There is no Roach Horn, there are no Banelings. If it's a pure Ling Queen defense, then Glaive Adepts will have their way with this kind of army. Oh, let's say recall back home. Getting 2 drones and doesn't lose a single Adept. Very nice recall. Saves all the Adepts. Oracle pokes in. No major damage yet. So Oracles, they poke in, they pull away. Keeping Yakov busy. There is a Baneliness in production that will help if given enough time to react. Then we can morph in some Banelings defensively, and that can defend against Adepts. Lings, they do attempt to surround. Oh, not quite able to though. Clutch moves there by Shameless. Seeing these Adepts is not a tell, but the next warp in is. Yeah, the next warp in is. Here we go. It is go time. Shameless here to shade across the map. Yakov does now confirm. He knows. Yeah, he now knows, but again, the Baneliness isn't ready yet. It's not ready yet, Pappy. He needs more time. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Lings, they can race back home to morph into Banelings. You can see here we're trying to fully wall off. And here we go. 8, 9 Banelings morphing in. 10 Banelings even. Now we'll defend. Revelation does spot the Banelings. Adepts, they shade into the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down, but the Banelings, they do finish morphing. They're coming. The Banelings, they're waddling in. Adepts, they're trapped. Massive connections, catching up most of the Adepts. Most, but not all. Yeah, not all. Adepts, they get into the mineral lines. They get into the natural. 6, 7 drones going down. They're still not done. This is getting out of hand. Getting out of hand at this point. We have more Adepts on the way. Shading to the third. 9 drone kills. Ooh, there's no Spore. Yeah, there's no Spore. The Queens are out of position as well. 14 drones going down. This is game ending. This is game ending damage as we have more Adepts working up here at the third base. They do shade away. Back at home, we have +1. We have Blink. We have Storm. Now, on the one hand, this is all late. True, Blink is late. +1 is late. All this is delayed. but the economy has been crippled, right? Shamelessly has dealt crippling damage. Shameless is on 70 probes against the 54 workers of YoungYakov. Yakov is redroning, resaturating. Yakov, he is behind heavily here in the economy, and Shameless can comfortably build up. Just comfortably build up. Now, because Yakov is so far behind, we have a couple of choices to make here. Do we try to drone a macro and stabilize, or do we go for an all-in? I'm leaning towards a 3-base all-in. It's going to be a weak all-in because we have to redrone and it is very delayed, but I do feel like there's a higher chance of winning with an all-in than with trying to recover economically. But we'll see. Still waiting for the lair. Jesus, very late lair here. Oh, hello. Going for the pits and going for +1 carapace. Huh. Okay, so a couple things. +1 carapace is usually never upgraded just because it's a bit of a waste. There's no need to invest into those upgrades. But for +1 carapace and +2 melee, this screams ultras, right? Infestation pit, no hydrogen, no den, no roach warren, no spire. This screams fast hive and fast ultras. This is a big gamble. This is a big risk. But considering the game state, YoungYakov has to take a risk. So there's the hive, as we mentioned. Yep, hive. And this should be for ultras. That would be the only reason why we have carapace upgrades on the way, is for ultra tech. Otherwise, it would just be a waste of resources. Now the question becomes, can Yakov survive until ultras? Because Shameless is already moving in. Yeah, Lings, they go for the runway, they go for the counter attack. Cannons are in position. Main army does push forward. Storm does right away. Yeah, Storm does zone. We have some slow banes morphing in. Yeah, slow banes, they cannot trade well against stalkers. And Yakov is just being bullied back. At the same time, does get into a middle line. Oh my god, the Lings. Yeah, Lings swap up. Mass Storm on the slow banes. Oh my god. Yeah, Baneleys, they do nothing. What is it? Is it like 11 Baneleys to kill 1 stalker? Like, Bailey speed is done. Don't quite make it past. Nice Storm on the Lings. Oh my god. And GG gets called. We don't get to see the ultras as Shameless takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Shameless does take a lead in the series. Again, a really rough start for YoungYakov. Winding up back, this came down to the Glaive Adepts. The Adepts, they did crippling damage, 14 drones going down. More than that, denied mining time, crippling the economy, trading well against the Ling Bane. YoungYakov did morph in those Bailings barely in time, but it was still a last-second choice, a last-second decision, and it was still a very shaky defense. In the end, the Adepts, they still wreak havoc. They still dealt crippling damage. GG. And again, from there, we saw that YoungYakov, who was forced into a fast hive. He had some choices to make, either fast hive or like some kind of Ling Bane all-in or Roach all-in or Hydra all-in. Tried to take up, got shut down. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now going to be loading into game 2, and we'll see if we can force the ace match. Personally, I want to see a game 3 regardless of how the series ends, but the pressure is on Yakov. Let's go. Pressure is on. Spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the red Zerg player. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. He's Shameless. Shameless. Let's go. So again, the quarterfinals are underway. And so far, it's looking to be a fast series, but we'll see. We are loading into a much larger map this time. Welcome to Winter Madness. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable bases, so there's a higher chance we do end up in a longer standard game. But once again, I feel like the eyes are going to be on Shameless here. Does he go for another faster Twilight Council? Does he go into faster tech? Does he do something more nefarious? Eyes are on Shameless. He is Shameless. True, true. Bearing in mind the winner of this series does advance on to the semifinals, and the winner of, and most likely going up against the winner of ByuN and Hupsaya in those upper semis. When it comes to PiGosaur Cup, it does have a unique format in the sense that semifinals are not held. Typically for other tournaments like Warden TV Monday or Sparkling Tuna Cup, we do hold the semis to cast one after the other. That is not the case for PiGosaur Cup, just bear that in mind. So depending on how fast the upper semis are, we might be able to cover both, but otherwise only one. Typically. I should also mention the other unique thing about PiGosaur Cup is that the semifinals are best of 5s, not best of 3. We got the juice. We got the juice. Let's go. Shameless does pull away. Back at home, it is going to be a Stargate opener out of Shameless. Everything's looking normal so far, but hey, even last game it was a Stargate first. It's all about the timing of the Twilight Council. Probe moves in to pylon block once again. Adept is on the way. Yakov, he actually slips by the Adepts. Ooh, cheeky moves out of Yakov. He wants to go for the backstab. And can he get into the mineral line? Does he go for the pylon? What are we going for? The pylon is going to be under fire. Again, cheeky moves here by Yakov. Boys are being pulled, and can we save the pylon? We cannot. Okay. Yeah, Yakov snipes the pylon. Keeps moving in. Adept does race back home to defend. Now, these things shouldn't kill any probes in the mineral line. The probes should be safe. Oh. But mining is being lost. Yeah, mining is being lost. Bit of a late reaction there by Shameless as he does not get this around. Oof. Even supply blocked. Oh my god, he can't make the Oracle. He doesn't. Yeah, he cannot make the Oracle. He's supply blocked. Yeah. Nice around here. 2 probes do fall. Shameless does defend, but again, a very shaky early game now for Shameless. Late Oracle, late Tech, late third base, late mining, 3 dead workers. Yakov takes a lead. Okay. Yakov does take a lead early on. From here, droning up, saturating, and now it's going to be on Yakov to survive the counterattack. We have 2 Adepts shading out across the map. 2 Adepts, they one-shot probes, or they one-shot drones. Oh, doesn't go though, as he has to protect his third. Okay. He's stuck at home. Stuck at home expanding. But again, a very late third base here for Shameless. Now it gets thrown down. Queen's in position. Eva Chamber behind the middle line is going for +1 melee. So just like last game, +1 melee should lead into Ling a Hydra. I do believe that last game the attempted rush into Ultras was a reaction to falling behind. I don't think it was the initial plan. We'll see if that's the case here. That's an early council. I mean, I say it's an early late council, if that makes sense. In the grand scheme of things, it is a late tech structure and a late Twilight Council, but in comparison to the timing of the third base, it is early. When you compare it to the third, which makes sense. I feel like there's a little pressure on Shameless to find some damage, so that he might go into Glaive Adepts again. I'm leaning towards Glaives for a second time this series. So I'm getting Deja Vu. Meanwhile, earlier Baneliness out of YoungYakov. It will be ready in time. And the Overlord is confirmed. And oh, it is not Glaives. It is going to be early charge. Okay. The problem is that just like Glaive Adepts, charge like this is vulnerable to Roaches and to Banelings. Banelings are going to be on the way. So Yakov, he will have the tools to defend. Whether or not he does, we'll see. Now, the other important factor here is that typically these early charge timings hit with Archons. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Temple Archives to morph in like 1 or 2 Archons with the Mass Zealot all-in. As we have 6 gates on the way, 2 already done, it's going to be a 3-base, 8-gate all-in here for Shameless. Did I say 8? He's going up to 9. Do we go to 10? With the extra gateways, there's a higher chance there will not be an Archon. That means that there's no Temple Archives. No, okay, there it is. So Temple Archives on the way. As I mentioned before, the goal here is to warp in 2 Archons to support the all-in. Now, because Archons are going to be in the mix, that does mean that there is an answer to the Banelings. We have a couple of Banelings. And we'll into the mineral line. Oh my god. to not get the adepts. But defensive banelings, the way that this works here is ideally Shameless, he wants to try to focus them down and push forward with the Archons in front of the Zealots, make sure the Zealots don't move in, focus on the banelings with the Archons, and then rush through once the banelings are dealt with. That should be the plan. Alright. He spots the Archons. Yeah, so Yakov, he spots the Archons. Bearing in mind, he did ask Shameless to Archon drop in game 1. True. But does scouts. Banelings are morphing in, Hydras are amassing as well. Again, YoungYakov, he has scouting information, he has the information he needs to react, to respond, to get ready. So again, this is looking rough for Shameless. YoungYakov, he's getting ready back at home. He is looking secure. And one way or the other, the game ends here. Banelings are roll in. So far, once again, good position with the Archons. Either Shameless kills Yakov or he dies trying. Banelings are coming from behind. Ooh, massive connections. The Archons go down. GG gets called. And YoungYakov takes game number 2. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. Again, just a very rough start for Shameless. He essentially fell behind. He stayed behind. It came down to the early Ling Harass. The early Ling Harass did crippling damage. Supply blocking his opponent, delaying the tech, delaying mining, killing probes, and delaying the third base. So much damage was done by those early 6 Lings. That was game. That was game then and there. We saw that Shameless tried to turn that into a 2-base all-in, or into a 2.5-base all-in, but he was just too far behind. YoungYakov, he also saw the all-in coming at a time. He scouted. He was more than ready. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match, and we'll see how the story ends. We'll see who will claim the series. We'll go the way of Shameless or YoungYakov. We're here to find out. Here to find out. Yo, we did just get an update here. Tabito did take down Solicitors 2-1. Big shout out to Tabito. Big shout out. Tabito. Bienvenidos Cyclones. Bienvenidos. Go. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top, or in the bottom left hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. Whew, tying up the series 1-1 and forcing that ace match. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Oh, now welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the smallest maps in the map pool. A hyper aggression is favored here, and no surprises as YoungYakov does veer off with the drone and is going for the proxy hatchery. Let's go. Now we can just go for the block in the actual base itself, or we can disrupt the initial wall off. It looks like we're just going for the block. Okay, so hatch block here at the natural. This is not for an all-in. This is not for anything aggressive. It's a macro build. It is a macro build. It's designed to put the Protoss player behind by delaying the expansion, by expanding back at home and droning up. This is the equivalent of like a pylon block, I suppose, or an eBay block. So we have the block. As you can see, Yakov going hatch gas pool. So later spawning pool. Again, there's no threat of a link flood or any kind of all-in. And Shameless doesn't pull the boys. Okay. It's very common to pull 7 probes to focus on the hatchery, but no, Shameless is going for a 2-gate response instead. Now, this is how it's going to be really intense dynamic here. The way this works is that so Shameless is going to be waiting for his first 2 zealots. He's going to make 2 zealots to focus this down, and then he's going to make 2 adepts behind this. He'll have 2 stalkers, sorry, 2 adepts, 2 zealots as well. After he does force a cancel, or after he kills the hatchery and moves out across the map, it's going to be up to YoungYakov to survive that counterattack and to defend. and it's going to be a clutch hold. So he's going to have two queens. He's going to have two queens. He'll have a handful of slow lings. I believe this will hit before ling speed. So it's we'll see how Yakov is able to react. As here comes that second zealot. Cybercore is done, and then we have the two adepts thereafter. And again, they will clean this up. They will shut down the hatchery. Making a queen is ambitious to spread creep. Very ambitious. Now, because the hatchery finishes, it is going to buy time. It's buying time for YoungYakov to get ready back at home and get ready for the counterattack. Ooh, you're making 6 lings. Okay. 6 lings on the way. 8 lings even. Queen pops out. And can the queen survive long enough to get a tumor? Can he throw down a creep tumor? Lings ahead for the adept. The adept has arrived. Oh, there it is. There's a tumor. Yeah, tumor gets thrown down. And can it finish? Oh, no, it cannot. We tried a body block. Yeah, tumor is denied. If that tumor would finish, then we could never expand without detection, of course. So Shameless would need an observer or an oracle. But the tumor gets focused down. The queen falls as well. And Shameless will hold. But again, this hatchery is still alive. It's still buying more time. We have another queen on the way. Should be denied. It is going to be cancelled. It's going to be denied. And Yakov has time to get ready back at home. It's gearing up. Ling speed is done. Ling speed does finish. Here comes a counterattack. But because Yakov bought enough time for ling speed to complete, Yakov is making lings. Yakov should be fine. Should be perfectly fine. Shameless does counterattack. Good 4 adepts. Up against 14, soon to be 16 lings. Now, one of the reasons why we can afford all these lings and the initial queens is no third. There's no third expansion. So there is that downside. Shameless picks forward. But again, cannot commit to these shades. Ling's aiming for this round. Trying to catch out the adepts. The oracle does go ham. Queen's to his support. The oracle takes a lot of hits. Oh no! Oh, the oracle barely gets away. Yakov does defend. Shuts down the army. Now claiming his own third base. At the same time, Shameless going for a Twilight Council behind this. Do we go into Glaives? As Shameless is double expanding. Oof. Yeah, double expanding here by Shameless. Later forge, so no glaive adepts. Looking like blink or charge. And the game is going to slow down. We're slowing down from here. Oof. Once again, going to be deflected. The oracles do pull away. Faster layout of YoungYakov. He does cancel +1 melee. And we have the answer here. No blink, charge. Interesting. So blink would have been a better defensive tool. Charge, of course, more aggressive. Does make sense considering the deficit that Shameless is on. As more Lings move out. Now, these Lings are going to be applying pressure, but more importantly, do they force Zealot Warp-ins? Currently, YoungYakov does not know what's going on. There it is. He does force it. Yes, Zealot Warp-in defensively. Now, YoungYakov knows that there is charge on the way. Baneling is already halfway done. Hydra gets thrown down as well, and we will need Baneling to defend. Yakov is getting ready. Shameless likewise setting up his Archons. Shameless does cut workers here at 3 base saturation. 66. Likewise, Hydras are amassing. We've got 6 Banelings morphing in, going for a run by actually instead. Bold move. Okay, we need defensive Banelings here. There we go. They're on the way. Here comes Shameless. He's rushing across the map. Results are revealed. Banelings should be activated. And they are. Banelings are making their way in. I was going for the Templar. Oh my god, 4 Templar go down, already worth it. And 2 Banelings that get into the middle line. 11 probes go down. Ay, Shameless. He was already going for the all-in, but he's forced into it. Losing 4 High Templar is brutal. Ay. And he's setting up defensively. Yeah, Shameless is no longer pushing, throwing down a wall of stasis traps. This does allow YoungYakov to drone up to get away with his 4th base saturation and to get ready with his Lingbane Hydra in the mid game. Now from here, Yakov has to make a choice. Does he max out on Lingbane Hydra and all in with Lingbane Hydra with a layer tech composition, or do we get an Infestation Pit and tech up into lurkers? Do we go for lurker tech? What's the plan? For now, he's building up his army. Getting a 5th base. And he's pushing. Yeah, so he's going to max out. He's doubling down on Lingbane Hydra. He's not taking up. Storm is done. True. Storm is ready this time. We've got at least 4 Storms. Then 1 Lansu. Oh my god. Yeah, it does punish the Hydras. A lot of Hydras go down. At the same time, Zealot run by here towards the south side. YoungYakov is out of position. Drones will be falling. Nice run by here by Shameless. Very nice as more drones are going down. Yeah, more drone kills. Banelings aren't ready. A couple of Hydras get caught out. And overall, this was better for Shameless. Deals economic damage, distracts his opponent, catches some of the main army, connects with some storms. But the question is, how many storms do we have left? 2. Soon to be 3. So 2, soon to be 3 storms. There's only 3 High Templar. So there's not many storms left, and Yakov is not backing off. Does take a storm to the face. At the same time, Lingbane does flank. Does head for the mineral line. Banelings are making their way in. And he does get into the mineral line. Oh my god, getting 12. 12 probes go down. Getting up to 13. Yakov will throw away these Hydras. Well, he gets in once again. Oh my god. 16. 16 probe kills. And Shameless is being torn apart. He cannot keep up. He will lose his final High Templar. Ay. Once again, it was a shaky early game for Shameless. To have his natural delayed for so long. And Yakov is going for the kill. He's going for the kill. As we have 3 more High Templar working in. I believe there's 1 storm. Yeah, there's currently 1 storm. It's soon to be 3. Ooh. Snipes High Templar. Kills the 3rd base. Not like this. Zealots, they do punish the Hydras though. True. Hydras are punished. Yakov consolidating his army. As more Hydras get caught out. These are efficient trades here for Shameless. True. We are efficient. And finally we have tech. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Yakov is taking up. This main army here from Shameless is still looking terrifying. Shameless, he might be crippled, but the main army is looking intense. 5 Archons, 3 Immortals, a couple of Storms. Yakov, he's fine. We got 12 Lunkers morphing in. He's certainly fine. If Shameless could push pre-Lurker, then he could win. He could overwhelm, but now that Lurkers are in the mix, this army is looking that much more vulnerable, that much less effective. So Shameless is in a very rough position here behind this, going for the fleet beacon, setting it for the mothership. He's trying. But the Lunkers are ready, Pappy. Yeah, Yakov, good. Yakov does punish, and Shameless cannot move in. Not into 12 Lurkers. It's not gonna happen. Bandits are coming from behind. Oh, barely doesn't get into the middle line. Clutch save there by Shameless. Very clutch. But here come the Lunkers. Range is finishing up. Hive upgrades are on the way. Banelings are coming in for a flank. Lurkers do Zupari. Zoning back the main army, and this center base is going to fall. And takes out the Nexus. Waddling further in. There are 2 High Templar remaining, 2 Storms. It's not going to be enough though. Pick up the Storms. Oh, decent connection, okay. As Banelings, they do run in. So we get a decent first Storm. But Yakov is gaining more ground. Mothership is revealed. Lurker's pushing into the natural. And he's going for the knight. Oh! Yeah, shuts down the Zealots. Shuts them down, pushing into the bases as well. We do activate Cloak. And Shameless looks like we'll clean up the Lurkers. It's getting messy though. It's getting very, very messy, but he will get on top of the Lurkers. Trading out almost every single Archon. Yeah, expensive trades here for Shameless, and he does hold, he does survive, but at a cost. At a cost of almost the entire army. And Yakov can rebuild. Yakov has an economy. Yakov is on 85 workers, getting a 6th expansion. Yakov can rebuild and remax. Meanwhile, Shameless, that's all he had left. Now, if Shameless can counterattack before the Lurkers morph in, then sure, then he can still actually do this. But 10 Lurkers are about to finish. They're about to finish. They're ready. Ling Bane at Run By is being set up. Nope. Yakov does catch an Archon. Nice pickup. Archon goes down. Banelings, they do roll into the middle line. 17 probes going down. Late reaction by Shameless. Oh no! He doesn't get away. 23 probe kills. 23 probes. Against Shameless, he has no economy. He hasn't had an economy for the entire game, to be honest. Again, for those that may be tuning in a little bit late, Shameless has been playing from behind from the beginning of the game. Shameless, he was hatch blocked, and it took him so long to take his natural. Like, his natural was heavily delayed, his third base was heavily delayed, the charge timing didn't quite hit. It's just been a very, very rough game here for Shameless. Trying to recover from the early game, trying and failing to. But he's been hanging in there, like for what, 16 minutes? Crazy. Been hanging in there. And again, there have been some windows of opportunity here for Shameless as well. Now he's trying to switch into Sky Toss, making 1 Tempest at a time. Yakov is maxed out. Oh, nice VX. Yeah, VX on the Vipers. Picking up 2 more High Templar. And once again, Yakov is distracting. Distracting for what? Distracting for another run by the Bailings. They get into the middle line once again. Again, the main armor was just distracting. As we get 24, 25, 29 pro kills. GG gets called, and YoungYakov will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. YoungYakov does claim the series. And my condolences to Shameless. He was coming in as the favorite player, but both games here, game 2 and game 3, YoungYakov took a lead very, very early on. For those that weren't quite here for it, early on, YoungYakov, he did go for a hatch block. He was able to extend the hatch block even further, making lings, making queens, fighting back the army, delaying the counterattack, and Shameless even had to double expand to recover, making his natural and his third base at the same time. He tried to counterattack, he wasn't quite able to. He went for a charge follow-up in a moment of desperation, but he also kind of missed his timing there as well, and Yakov was in full control of the game. So shout out to Shameless for making a game out of it and for being able to have somewhat of a back and forth, but again, he never quite recovered from the early game damage. He was building up there, and he had potential with his storms, he had potential with the switch into Sky Toss, but just a very, very, very rough early game there, and it made everything else that much more difficult. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to YoungYakov as he does claim the series. And with that, we are going to be following Yakov into the semi-finals. Let's go. Meanwhile, shout out to PiGosaur letting us know that apparently Yakov has not gotten into the money before, which sounds crazy, but at the same time, I believe YoungYakov, he isn't really a regular in these tournaments. I mean, in general, Europeans are a rarer sight, but I don't think YoungYakov, he's not a regular like Max Pax or Geralt or Nickeract, for example. Even Shameless, I would imagine that players like Nickeract, Geralt, Shameless, and even Wayne at times, even eclipse the participation of YoungYakov, specifically in PiGosaur Cup. So yeah, I would imagine that he's a bit of a rarer sight compared to some of the other D-Gen Europeans that stay up this late. But really cool to see that he's made it maybe farther than he has before. GG. GG, well played. Meanwhile, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pezavenga in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the community, gifted subs to Canuck Prime, and to McHood as well. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Do you believe that's the first top 4 for YoungYakov? There you go. There you go. And we'll see if we can go even further here as we are checking out that bracket. Here we go from the top. We have ByuN. ByuN takes down Hupside 2-0. Yakov takes down Shameless 2-1. And we have our first semifinals. It's going to be best of 5 between ByuN and YoungYakov. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Percival. Percival takes down Davito 2-0. Percival's in the semifinals. Likewise, we have SOS versus Lemon in the lower quarterfinals match. So it looks like the lower semis is a little bit more delayed. We, of course, are going to be jumping into the upper semifinals, following YoungYakov into ByuN. We might catch the tail end of the lower semis. Bearing in mind, lower semifinals will start regardless of whether or not we are in a series, so they will get their own matches underway. We might be able to catch some of those games though, depending on the length of these matches, of course. See? But we are in the semifinales, papi. True. Semifinales. We gotta make sure we get everyone involved. Looks like El Chanchito is elsewhere. But yeah, I thought Pig would have followed Bomyoja and Hapsaya into ByuN into the series, but I think he's in another match. It's another match. It's all good. But let's go. Appreciate what you do. Oh, thank you so much. Gracias, papi, gracias. So in chat, anyone else got a problem with the YouTube application at the moment? Oh, hopefully everything's okay. That might be like a mobile issue. Take care. Amazing, bro. I like SC2. Love the game. More and more and more. More than a girlfriend. Oh no. Cuídate, papi. Cuídate. Take care of yourself. Oh no. Hopefully we're okay. Are we good? I was randomly disconnecting from the lobby. Okay, we're good. Jesus. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Green Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. And if you are in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our best of 5 semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. Now, coming into this, we have seen YoungYakov take it to ByuN before. That is true. He has done it in the past. We'll see if he can do it again because he has to bring his A game here to ByuN. Meanwhile, ByuN, he is the #1 seed of the tournament. He's the favorite player here. Typically, we see some of the other top Europeans. I will say we have a bit of a leaner broadcast or a leaner bracket this week. There is no Clem, there's no Max Pax, there's no Hero, there's no Solar. So some of the other big competitors that ByuN usually does contend against aren't quite here, and I would say that it's going to be on everyone else to stop ByuN from claiming the win here this week. We have players like Percival, like YoungYakov, like SOS, like Lemon. They can take maps, they can take series, but they have to be at their best. They got to be at their best here to be able to take it to ByuN. So we'll see if YoungYakov can make a match out of this. Let's go. Let us go. So now we do have a Hatchcast pool. Now we have casted YoungYakov versus ByuN in the past, and because of the apparent difference between the players, we have been seeing a lot of aggression out of YoungYakov. We did see a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, a lot of hyper-committed play out of YoungYakov. We'll see if that trend continues. Coming into Tourmaline, I wouldn't be opposed to Roach-based play. Like, Roach-based play and Roach-based all-ins do hit very hard on Tourmaline, so we'll keep an eye on YoungYakov's opener. We'll keep an eye on his gas spending. As Yakov can be a very cheeky player. I mean, hey, you saw him hatch block last game, for example, with the proxy hatchery. True, true. ByuN does move out. Again, standard open out of ByuN. There's no 2-Rax Reaper. So just Rax expand into the factory. Reaper gets across, poking away at the Lings. No major damage yet. So far, good control by YoungYakov, but the Lings are getting low, and ByuN can get one. Ooh, he gets one. He gets two. 2 Lings go down. Nice wiggles here by ByuN. Very nice. As he even threatens the tumor. Doesn't quite get it though. Tumor does survive. Behind this 3rd CC. So 3rd CC before Starport. A very economic build here by ByuN. Very economic. From here, ByuN getting to a more standard follow-up. Yakov pulls out a gas. So far, everything's looking normal. So far. So ByuN testing the waters. Once again, his goal here is to try to snipe the tumor. We have Hellions on the way to reinforce. There's no commitment into anything too greater. There's Yadon swap into Cloak Banshee. Assuming we research Cloak, but we'll see. Regardless, Banshees are on the way. And Yakov is going Evo Chamber first. Oh, but that is a hidden Evo Chamber. Okay, you have my attention. So a couple of things here. An early chamber like this, typically, if there was no greater context of it being hidden, in my mind would be greater +1 carapace. +1 carapace to shut down a 2-on-1. We can see there is no 2-on-1, and Yakov, I believe, sees the Hellions as well, so I feel like +1 carapace doesn't really make as much sense here unless he's trying to like blind counter. Yeah, there it is. +1 carapace is on the way. This is ideal against a bio-heavy style, against a 2-on-1 or a 3cc 2-on-1. We can see this is 3cc Banshee, so Interesting choice. This could be a little bit cheeky here. There is a build where you can rush into +1 carapace and then rush into +2 carapace and then go for a +2 all-in, like a +2 timing. I know that YoungYakov was very fond of that. YoungYakov, he would go very Ling heavy, he'd go very Ling Bane heavy, then into ultras, off of like just pure carapace upgrades. Yeah, almost a 5-minute lair. Well, technically, Mio, he would go just pure Ling ultra. He would skip Banelings. So I'm curious if this is kind of echoing that sentiment here. Whether we plan on skipping Banelings and going pure Ling into ultra tech. Oh, Mio, it's back! Gee. God damn it. And hopefully we realize as soon as without roaches it's going to be a tough hold here going pure Ling. Thankfully safety balance is on the way. This is not the first time we've seen ByuN play mech. He's played it plenty of times in the past, but typically when ByuN played mech it was in the previous patch with the previous Cyclone, right? In the previous Cyclone meta everyone was playing mech, including ByuN as well. In the new meta though, this is a rarer sight, and meanwhile the Hellions, they bust on in, they break through the front door. Lings, they try to collapse on forward, but so far nice kiting here by ByuN. Massive Hellion shots going off. Can he get into the mineral line? The Hellions getting low. The Hellions are low, and the YoungYakov defends. Whew. Yeah, clutch hold here by Yakov. He does protect his mineral line, but what is scary here is that again, fast +1 carapace. We just mentioned this is ideal against bio, not against mech, and also it's Ling Bane. We need a Roach Warren sooner rather than later, otherwise it's going to be a very tough hold. The problem is that YoungYakov, he sees nothing. Where's the Overseer? Again, the lair is done. We need an Overseer Scout soon. Ling's looking for more Hellions. Now he knows. Yeah, now he knows. He sees extra Hellions. This is unorthodox. This many Hellions is not normal. He's going Ling Bane Hydra. He has to. He's committed. He's going Ling Bane Hydra. Ay, ay, ay. Again, any ambitions of going Ling Bane into Ultras, it's out the window. Hellion Cyclone is amassing. The Cyclones, baby, let's go. Getting to double armory, double upgrades, getting 1-1. And it's going to be a shaky mid game here for YoungYakov. Now there are opportunities, of course, if he can surround the army, if he can catch out the Hellions or catch out the Cyclones. As we are continuing in Banshee production, again, this is a Banshee style of battle mech. This did rise in popularity a couple of years ago, like 2023. If you remember TY before he retired, he was playing around with this quite a bit in GSL. It was TY, Ryung, all the Korean Terrans. Like around 2023. The goal of these Banshees are to harass, true, but also to be a supportive unit and ideally snipe infestors when infestors come into play. Especially because it's quite common for the Zerg army to have limited anti-air, because it would be Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Here it's Ling Bane Hydra, so the Hydras at least can hold their own and have a presence against the Banshees and protect any high-tech units. So there's a benefit here to the Hydras, as the Banshees don't have as much free reign. Yakov does push forward. The tank is exposed. Okay, nice pickup. He gets one tank. Let's catch one tank. Lurkers are on the way. I'll be honest, I'm not used to seeing Lurker versus mech, but I mean, we gotta make use of the tech, right? Not entirely convinced by the idea, but we'll see. Convince me, man. Convince me. As ByuN is being a little bit overly aggressive here, he has to be careful. He has to be careful. His tank count is still very low. These are all the tanks he has. Ling Bane rushes forward. Hellions a little bit late to react. 1, 2 tanks go down already. And this is worth it for YoungYakov. This is worth it. At the same time, Bailey did roll in. ByuN did react in time. Oh, he wants to... No! Get late to pull away. Not bad. 10 SCV kills. Whew. 10 SCVs going out. At the same time, Banshees, they do hit another mineral line, getting 5 drones. Ooh, but Banshees are finally getting picked up. Finally, they're going down. As ByuN, he's switching out of tanks and into more Cyclone production. Does get a 3rd tank. But I'll be honest, with ByuN sticking to a battle mech composition, I do think that YoungYakov has a chance to surround and to lock down the army with Fungals. Fungals have potential. Ducklings are for the counterattack. Not getting much though. Yeah, they might even kill 1 Cyclone, not even. Oof. And Cyclone does survive. Overlord's getting caught out. Supply blocking YoungYakov. That's 3 Overlords, and more Overlords getting caught here on the right hand side as well. Jesus. And where are those Fungals? Grazing the army, catching out 3 Hellions and a Cyclone. Let's graze the army. ByuN is still max though. Losing 2 more Cyclones, okay. At the same time, ByuN, can you get on top of the hatchery? Oh, is that me? No! Yeah, I'm lagging out a little bit here. Let's have a look. Oh. Yeah, I'll leave the game. I'll leave the game. I noticed it earlier, but my OBS is fine. Like my OBS is fine. Like we're good. But my connection to Battle.net is struggling. Weird. So I may have to turn on a VPN. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna turn on a VPN because I am disconnecting from Battle.net. Feels Battle.net, man. Save. So unfortunately, we won't be able to catch the tail end of game number 1. It's pretty intense, and honestly, I can see it going either way. I can see it going either way. I can see YoungYakov catching out some of the battle mech and shutting it down. I could see ByuN overwhelming and breaking through. I can see it going either way, but for now, it's a VPN time. But as you can see, it's not internet related. Like we're fine here on Twitch. We're fine on YouTube. Like our stream is fine. It's just StarCraft, or specifically our connection to the Battle.net servers. Azure. Okay. Okay. Turning on the VPN. So I do apologize. If you want to tune into the rest of that game, I believe I'm still disconnected from Battle.net. Hold on. Turning on my VPN. So if you want to tune into the rest of the game, I believe Pacheco's casting in Spanish and Bomyoja's casting in English. So they do have you covered there. They got you. Feel free to restream. Okay. Well, just setting up. Just trying to fix some things up here. But hopefully we're good. Shout out to Bob again, allowing us to restream here. And it looks like a lot's been going on as ByuN, he is switching a little bit out of battle mech and into more tanks and into more liberators. You can see a +1 ship weapons on the way, so he's trying to make that switch into a more lib heavy composition. Yakov did go into his mass lurker style, and with said lurkers, he's trying to switch into into ultras actually. Okay, got an ultra tech switch. Yakov going for run-bys, going for counterattacks. Lurkers are getting caught out. And Yakov being a little bit ambitious with these lurkers here, just going for non-stop run-bys. He's waddling across. No! Losing another lurker. Yeah, lurkers are getting caught out. These are expensive run-bys here that Yakov's been going for. Expensive, Pappy, expensive. And again, he's just trying to buy time for ultras. Kindness plating has begun. We have Vipers on the way as well. Building up into ultras. This is going to be 19 dead SCVs. Oh my god. 19 workers going down. Yakov, he's trying to get in there. And he's doing damage. Does threaten that northern base. More liberators are on the way. The scariest thing here for ByuN is his lack of economy. Like, he has 84 SCVs, that is true, but he's burning through his bank because of these rough trades. Ideally ByuN would want to be building up a bank at this point and building up to a more efficient composition. And finally, we can see he's done with battle mech. You can see in the production tab 4 tanks being made, a liberator as well. But is it too late? Army does push forward, catching up more tanks. YoungYakov, he has the high ground. He has control of the high ground. Keep going, Pappy. I'm not quite able to. We got 6 ultras on the way. There's no +3 carapace. It looks like that's kind of slipped YoungYakov's mind. As liberation has arrived. Yeah, just in time to defend. Liberators are holding. I believe Yakov has a Spire. Yeah, he has +1 fire attack on the way, but no corruptors yet. Ideally, should be working towards like Ultra, Infestor, Corruptor, and then eventually Broodlord. That should be like the trajectory of his tech. Once ByuN does find an expansion. Not quite able to. Ultras are revealed. ByuN now knows. Oh, as yeah, gonna lose 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 ultras gonna go down. Aye, pushing into 5 tanks. No. Ultras are expensive. We can't afford to throw 5 away like that. Oof. And yeah, YoungYakov, he now does realize +3 carapace. +3 carapace has begun, so we're lacking that upgrade. There was no +3. Oh, tanks do stack. Okay, very nice lightning cloud. Catching out all the tanks. Ultras moving in, getting 3, 4 free tanks. I think 5 actually. So very nice trade here for YoungYakov. But he will lose the lurkers, he will lose the ultras, and Yakov, he is also running out of money here. Both players are. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. As you can see, ByuN is switching back into Cyclones. It looks like he will snipe at top left and center right. GG gets called as YoungYakov gets torn apart, and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that. ByuN, he does take a lead in the series, does take the first game, and oh my god, does take the first game. And again, a shout out to Bomyoja for letting us screen share a little bit there. Hopefully we are able to stay connected to the Battle.net servers. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, my fingers crossed. But GG, GG, well played. As now getting into game number 2, and this time we'll be in game though. This time we'll be in game, and again, crazy for it to see ByuN embrace mech. Again, not the first time we've seen ByuN playing mech, but in the past it was usually with the previous Cyclone, right? In the previous patch, with the more buffed and the more effective Cyclone. Here in the current meta, we still do see mech against Protoss and against Zerg, but it's a little bit more niche. It's every now and then from like Clem, from Yumiho, from Maru. Like they kind of mix it into their matches and into a series. So interesting to see ByuN experimenting here. And might be an indication of things to come. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg himself. It is YoungYakov. Oh, going for an early gas, or early gas, early pull. YoungYakov is going for a rush. With this, you can go into early Link Speed, into a Bane Bust, or you can go for an early Roach Warren. Which one is it going to be? Do we go with Link Bane or do we go Roaches, as we are going for an extractor trick? Just setting up. But again, hyper aggression out of Yakov. I mean, after being locked into a long game 1, like, we're done. He's like, mech again? No, never again, Pappy, never again. So 100 SCVs from ByuN at one point in this game. Kind of bonkers, TBC. I mean, we've seen that kind of style before, but again, it's interesting to see that ByuN is like dipping his toes a little bit more into it this patch. Might just be having fun. We'll see, we'll see. It's one of those things where a game like that is now kind of like in the back of my mind, and like moving forward in the coming weeks, like it's something that that we'll see if ByuN does emulate again. I hope not. But we'll see. Meanwhile, we pull out of gas. So we pull out of gas, so no Bane Bust. No Bane Bust, no Roach Warren. Is going to be Link Speed here from YoungYakov. He does flood across the map. Flooding across. And currently ByuN, he skips the SCV Scout. Okay, no SCV Scout. ByuN is being greedy. Yeah, greed out of ByuN. Reaper does move out. The Overlord did confirm the Reaper, so the YoungYakov does avoid the Reaper Scout. Yakov is supply blocked. Ooh. Yeah, rough supply block here, but again, Yakov is going to be striking that natural, ideally forcing a cancel, and might even slip into the main. Yeah, he's going for it. Yeah, ignores the natural, goes straight for the main base. Ooh, Debo is lifted in time. There's a cancel. So quick. That's such a quick reaction out of ByuN. Cancels the expansion, sets up on the high ground, and so far, a clean defense out of ByuN, even not losing the SCV. Yeah, doesn't even lose it. Walls up in time, Link Speed is done. And with that, ByuN holds. ByuN holds, he races back home with the Reaper as well, so very nice defense, very clean reaction out of ByuN. And Yakov is in a rough position. Again, remember, Yakov, he delayed his natural. He delayed drone production, he invested into Link Speed, he invested into all these Lings, and he's not achieving anything with it. I mean, I say that, he did force a cancel, true, did force a cancellation, but again, because of such a quick reaction, ByuN is already working and building up his natural, like, he's still in a decent position. Ooh, as ByuN is going for his 1-1-1 follow-up. Not a third CC, so an aggressive follow-up here out of ByuN. From here, he can commit a little bit harder into Reaper Hellion. Sorry, into Hellion Banshee. But much more aggressive. Once he has his second Hellion, he can break out. He can bully back those Lings. And ByuN claims his natural. Meanwhile, from the side of YoungYakov, he had a late natural and also a late third. The third hasn't even been thrown down yet. Oh god. So again, this is a very messy game from both players. Once again, early Evo chamber. Now, if you remember, we spoke about something in game one. When we saw the early chamber and the early +1 carapace, in my mind, it looked like Ling Bane into Ultra. But because we had ByuN going to mech, Yakov had to kind of switch gears and adjust, and instead committed into Ling Bane Hydra. Here, I do feel like once again we're setting up for fast Hive and for fast Ultras, but we'll see if that's the case. We'll see how YoungYakov makes use of this if he's up against Bio and not mech. Meanwhile, the drop moves out, catching out on Overlord already, supply blocking YoungYakov. Behind this, ByuN going for his own liberative follow-up. Oh, and does switch out of Hellions. Okay. So we do have a Bio follow-up here by ByuN. Getting to stim. Drop gets eyes on the late third. You have an earlier lair as a result, which ByuN should get eyes on. Now it's affected. There's +1 carapace. Second Evo chamber's on the way. This could just be like a blind reaction and a blind style just to make sure he's okay against like a 3CC2 on 1. I suppose. We'll see. We'll see what he does with the Hive. Sorry, with the lair, I meant to say. And he's still going Ling Bane Hydra. Okay. Oh, +1 range. Not melee. Okay. We're shifting gears here. Last game did go into melee blindly. This time going into range. This tells us that we're going for a stronger Hydra timing. This is a style that Shin, Sola, the other Korean Zerg players have been embracing as of late. Do you notice something? No Baneling Nest. Intentionally so. So late Baneling Nest, very early Hydra Den and Hydra upgrades. This typically leads into a Hydra timing attack. Like into a borderline all-in. Like it's very, very committed. And again, Shin and Sola specifically have been very fond of this. Sola actually beat ByuN with this style. Not too long ago. Like in a full series, I mean. I think Sola did this every game. Liberator into the natural. Liberator gets a full scout. Oh, doesn't get a full scout actually. Never mind. Doesn't quite have vision. Gonna be forced back. ByuN is applying pressure. Alright, so discussing this style a little bit here. When it comes to the Terran player, ByuN hasn't scouted. He hasn't seen. He just saw Hydra. Okay, he just saw Hydra. That should be a tell. And ideally, you want to be switching into a tank-heavy style, not Widowmine. Widowmine is ideal against Ling Bane, but against more Hydra-heavy compositions, that is where tanks are superior. So going by a mine, it can be difficult to keep up with this. As you can see, YoungYakov is cutting workers at 62. Looking to join up to 66 at least. Ooh, more Hydras get caught out. Ay. Yeah, 2 Hydras caught out in the open. ByuN is pushing. ByuN is committing. We have +1 vehicle plating on the way. What? Okay. Sure. And can ByuN break through? Can he get on top of those Hydras? As we mentioned, remember, there's no Banelings intentionally. Like, there are no Banelings with this. It's pure Ling Hydra. Yakov goes for the infestation bit. Ooh, he's teching up. This should be for lurker tech. Should be. Ling Hydra trying to catch out the army. Nice start stepping out of ByuN. We have our safety infestors. I mean, I say safety infestors, they're honestly quite necessary just because there are no Banelings. It's going to be the splash damage here for YoungYakov. And there's the Hive. ByuN going for a split push. He's distracting on the left. There's our lurker den that we did mention. So Yakov, his win condition here, survive until lurkers. Can he get there? Can he get to the lunkers? Oh. Seems on in, breaks through the links, until the hydras. Likewise, Liberator popping off here in the middle line, getting 11 drones. Nice fungal. Yeah, fungals do connect. Oh, God. They were a little bit too consecutive. As Yakov is barely holding on here, still does cost him 11 drones. Did I say 11? Oh, there's no vision. ByuN has no vision. This is where the value scans. Oh, he does. He's listening to the stream. Does scan, gets a drone, gets 2. Does he get 3? Nah, just 2. Okay, third drone falls. ByuN's main army's moving in. Let's move in. Once again, Hydra on their own. There's one lurker to defend though. There's 2. 2 lunkers. Is that enough? Even with the VPN, I'm struggling to hold on to BattleNet. What the hell? I just saw that stuttering. Go, ByuN dust him forward. Breaks through the lings. That's a lot of hydras he has to work through. It's a lot of hydras. At the same time, just pulling YoungYakov apart, taking down the Eva chambers. Gets 1, now going for the other. Delaying 3-3. Big delay here as he should get the second chamber. At the same time, ByuN does rush forward. Lurker's out of position, and he's going for the expansion. Does he get it? He does. Third base goes down. Takes on the third. ByuN pulls away. And Yakov, it's all or nothing. How many lurkers does he have? 6. 6 lurkers. Catching empty medevacs. Oof. As he runs into the main army. And we spoke about this earlier. Against this more Hydra lurker heavy style, you do want tanks, and tanks are on the way. ByuN is making 2 tanks at a time. Building up his tank count. Building up a superior composition. There is a Viper. You have a couple of blinding clouds. Oh, it covers 1 tank. Only 1 tank. There's no break in this position. We have plenty of marauders. Plenty of marauders. And Yakov is being torn apart. He's trying to find a way in. There is an opening, true. There's an opening here. Same time another hatchery goes down. Yakov does rotate. Getting within range of the planetary. But ByuN is coming in for the surround. Yeah, flanks the lurkers. 1, 2, 3 lurkers go down. There are no lurkers left. No. Yeah, no lurkers with the main army, and Yakov, what you see is what you get. That's all he has left. He has no economy, he's broke, he has no 4th base. No. Oh my god. There is no 4th expansion. Oof. Yeah, the retargeting. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN takes a 2-0 lead here again. YoungYakov, interesting style going into this Hydra heavy style, but typically when you go into +1 range, if you go into all those Hydras, you usually want to be the aggressor. You want to be out on the map, you want to be pushing into the 3rd base. Unfortunately, because of all the drop play, Yakov was stuck at home. He was stuck at home. He couldn't actually aggressively make use of those Hydras, and in the end he was torn apart. GG, well played. With that, ByuN takes a 2-0 lead, and ByuN needs 1 more game, 1 más to claim the series. 1 más. Meanwhile, it looks like the lower semifinals, even though they began a little bit later, they are well underway. Oh my god. So it looks like things might line up in such a way that we might cover the finals. This might just lead directly into the finals. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have somewhere we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, down in the series, but now is the time. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. He's up against the wall. It is YoungYakov. Whew. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game 3 here. And we have seen something quite different, both in game 1 and game 2. Game 1 we had Mech, of course. Game 2 we had ByuN going, or sorry, game 2 we had Yakov trying to go into Mass Hydra. But now we're loading into a much smaller map. And also, sorry, it all began with the YoungYakov going for the early pool. He went he went gas pool into a late expansion, into a late third base. And Yakov did fall behind early due to him failing to get much damage done across the map. So it was a shaky early game that led into a shaky mid game. We'll see where our players take us this time. Here we go. So we are massing. From here, everything's looking normal, everything's looking standard. Every game so far, we have seen Yakov go for the early Evo chamber, the early chamber into the early +1 carapace. I would imagine that trend will continue here. If ByuN has been noticing the early chambers time and time again, he should not be going for a 2-1-1. We should be going for something more standard, more robust. As ByuN does move out. It does dip out across the map. Yakov claiming his third. His third base is on time here in game 3, as opposed to last game. Do appreciate it. He's getting his third. And ByuN is going for his factory follow-up, so there's no second racks. There's no 2-1-1. Oh, a bit of a slip up here. That should not have happened. Yeah, Yakov with the reaction with the emoji. ByuN with the 1-1-1 with the ... And again, that shouldn't have happened. First Reaper goes down. A nice little win here. Nice start for YoungYakov. Now, he could be cheeky here. He doesn't pull back in, but because he killed the first Reaper, if he really wanted to, he could hide some tech, throw down a Roach Horn, pull into gas, and then go for an all-in. But he's just droning. Just droning, saturating. But yes, losing the Reaper that early on is worthy of a reaction emoji. Like, it's... If you want it to be ByuN, that's worthy of a question mark, which we do see amongst the Koreans. Like, because the Koreans are closer, like if this was Solar, for example, he'd be spamming question marks and he'd be laughing at ByuN. If this was Solar. Ay. It's happened before. No. As ByuN does move out. Does slip into the natural. Volley goes on Lings. Yeah, oh, this is getting a bit of a hand already. This should not be getting damage done. Yeah, A drone's going down. Where are the defensive Lings here? Yakov, he droned up too hard. He droned up too much. In the end, far too greedy here. 11 drones go down, and the Hellion even gets away. This should not have happened. How many Lings were there? Only 4. Only 4 defensive Zerglings. Insane greed here. Yakov. And he gets bullied for it. He gets bullied for it. ByuN, he gets more. 13 drone kills, 1 more volley, 14 drones. 14 drones go down. That is critical damage early on. Ay. You may be looking at this and being like, oh, but yeah. Oh god. Yes, the Banshee pops off. The Banshee pops off. Spores delayed. 5 more drones. Getting up to 6. Hellions get into the mineral lines, and this is game-ending damage. Like, this is critical damage here. Right, what was I saying? Getting into this, you might be looking at the supplies and be like, oh, but YoungYakov, his drone cannon's looking still quite healthy. That is not true. The Zodiac players should be ahead in workers, they should be up in workers, and on top of that, because we have to replenish all these drones, that means the tech is late. We're 5:30 minutes into this game. Where's the lair? Where is the lair? Where are the Evo chambers? Where are the upgrades? All that. Oh god, this is almost a 6-minute lair timing. Insanely late lair, late upgrades, all because we've been replacing all those drones. So it's not immediately clear. Like, the soup does lie. The soup is lying to you. Tech-wise, far behind because of all the redroning. Yakov is setting up for a Bane Bust. There is a wall, but behind this is, oh, the tank is still on the way. ByuN does evacuate. Does he get out in time? Does he pull away? The boys! Oh my god, big connections. Yeah, massive 14 SUVs go down. ByuN, he's stacked towards the end. He's stacked. Okay, we got a game. We have a game. We have a back and forth. If the SUVs didn't stack towards the end, that would have been a cleaner defense, of course. That would have been brutal. But we now have a back and forth. Now, ByuN does make 3 SUVs at a time and does have mules, that is true. And he still has that 1-1 timing. So the scary thing here is that when it comes out of assault, it was a lot of damage, it killed a lot of workers. The main army for the most part was untouched, which means this 1-1 timing attack and this medevac move out is still available for ByuN. It's still there, it's still available. And that's what I'm concerned about. As Yakov is still redroning, still resaturating. Medevacs have arrived, and ByuN should start to be active. He should start to be active on the map. Yeah, here comes the move out. What do we have to defend? We have, so far, 8 Banelings, 0-0 upgrades, so there's going to be that upgrade advantage for ByuN. As we mentioned, because of the early game, the upgrades are heavily delayed. Baneling speed will be done in time, though. True, true. There is going to be baneling speed. So far, Yakov's out of position. He will have some time to respond, though. Army gets spotted. Yakov does rally. Does rally over. It comes down to ByuN's control. How well does he split? And now going for the pre-split. Lean Bane does roll in. Collapsing the Marines, and Yakov should have enough. Down to 2 Banelings. They get targeted down. Yeah, Marines, they hold their own. They stand their ground. They shut down the Lings. Remember, they have that upgrade lead. And that was a better trade here for ByuN. Can he get a queen? Oh, he does. Oh, 1 queen goes down. He gets 2. He gets 3. Oh my god, the pop pickup. Jesus, that was close. That was so close. But does catch the queens. Pulls away. ByuN is now ahead economically. He's got 66 workers plus mules. Yakov, he has to saturate his bases. So he's still trying to get into his own 1-1. Okay, infestors will help. True. So we have 3 infestors on the way that will help. They're a way to make up for an otherwise smaller army. Oh. ByuN being cheeky. Try to bait at those Banelings. It does attempt to. And once again, nice target firing. How many Banelings are left over? 7. Only 7 Banelings. Again, we are heavily reliant on these fungals. Once again, ByuN pushing forward. Infestors are coming in. Lands 1 fungal. Jesus. There's 2 fungals left. And we're still holding on to them. At the same time, double jump gets into the middle line. GG gets called. YoungYakov gets torn apart, and ByuN will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations. ByuN will claim the series. Again, we had a chaotic series is what I will say. Not the most standard of games, especially from YoungYakov, going for his own quirky builds, his own quirky styles, but I did appreciate the matches nonetheless. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here as ByuN does claim the series, and we are going to be following ByuN into the grand finals. Does he have an opponent ready and waiting? Let's find out. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Exclamation mark B to have a look at the back yourselves. Ooh, we do have the grand finals. It's going to be a rematch here. It is going to be Percival. Percival takes down sOs 3-1 to advance on to those grand finals. It's going to be a TBT between ByuN and Percival. Let's go. Let us go. How many years before Yakov becomes old Yakov? I mean, if you've been watching him, you would know that he did become old Yakov, like, was it last year? I think last year he became old Yakov. He did name change in game. Did name change. He became old, but now he's young again. True. He's young again. One moment though, as I do have to adjust my VPN as we're heading over to the Korean server, and hopefully I'm given enough time to do so. Hopefully. But yes, we have experienced old Yakov. Smooch. As I do have to load back into StarCraft. Gonna be loading back in. I'm hoping there's no second light. Okay. Beautiful. As we are setting up, looks like our casters need a little bit of time here, but otherwise we'll be jumping into game one. Game one, Vita Zidane. Game one is going to be on the Republic. Now, very quickly here, I did mention this is going to be a rematch. Percival versus ByuN. They have been going at it quite a lot this year. They play very, very often, and Percival was on a win streak against ByuN. Percival, he beat ByuN in a best of 5 and a best of 3 as well. But it was a couple of days ago where ByuN did get his revenge over Percival. So they've been going back and forth. They've been going very back and forth. I expect this to go to game 4. I would not be surprised if this goes to game 5. I still favor ByuN, but Percival has been beating ByuN on a more regular basis as of late. Again, I will still say that ByuN is favored, but Percival has been closing that gap, specifically in TVT. Well aged Yakov, like gee, wait, it's so evolved straight from young Yakov to old Yakov. Yes, we skipped the young adult Yakov. I wanted the young adult Yakov back. Ay. We missed teen Yakov as well. True. Straight to old. again, we are getting ready. And this will be the final series of the broadcast, of course. The final series, the grand finals, are upon us here to crown this week's champion. It will be that TVT. And we'll see how this story does. And game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. The Old Republic is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Historically, TVT has had a reputation of being like a bit of a slower matchup, but that's only accurate historically. In recent years and recent times, we have had a bit of a more high-octane and high-paced TVT. That has been the case throughout 2023, 4, and 5, I would say, like the past couple of years. So I have been appreciating the change in TVT quite a bit. Oh. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Players are ready. Casters are ready. We're jumping in. Jumping in. YoungYakov. Oh no. Ah no. Not like this. Boomer Yakov. True. Smurge. He's still like 21 years old. Like he's still very young. But the mantle has aged. So that's what playing Zerg does to you, Pappy. True. But here we go. We're getting in. We're loading into game 1 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets because we are moving up with 2 SVs. We're setting up for a proxy. So place your bets all you can. Place your bets, Pappy, because 2 SVs move out for ByuN. We're going for the proxy 2x Reaper. Yeah, the proxy is upon us, and Percival does he scout. Again, it is not uncommon, especially in TVT, to go for proxy Reaper. So Percival, he should have the wherewithal to check nearby, at least at the 3rd location. But this is not at the 3rd location. It's a little bit further out into the open. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to confirm. You can see Percival, he is scouting on the left-hand side. He does check left-hand side. Oh, that's... oh, no! Oh, God, that's unfortunate. So, Percival, he's going for his own 2 racks. Technically, the build is the same, but the placement is different. ByuN is going for his 2 racks as proxied. Percival, only 1 is proxied. It's a lighter commitment. Now, the problem here is that this racks... The production, the rally from this racks is going to be from the center of the map. So rushing back home defensively, reinforcements will be delayed. They're going to be delayed here. So ByuN is in a better position because he's going to be able to reinforce faster into the main base of Percival. Percival's own reinforcing Reaper is going to be late. It's going to be delayed here coming back home. So ByuN has the advantage. He has the advantage here. Just because of the awkward placement of Percival's Reapers. And if ByuN kills the first Reaper of Percival, that's going to be game. Like, we have to be so careful here with our first couple of units. It all comes down to the micro, to the control, to the reactions. Technically, we could try to base trade, but again, Percival, his base trade is going to be weaker because of his production. So just a really rough position for Percival. Reapers, they do slip in. They slip in. And... yeah, I think that's just game, I'll be honest. So Percival, he's committing across the map to also go for the quote-unquote base trade to get into the mineral line, but it's going to be late. ByuN does hit first. Yeah, boys are being pulled. And ByuN gets the Reaper. Yeah, he does shut it down. Massive pickoff. And this should just be game. Just because ByuN is came for the production as well. Like, he's going to kill all these SCVs and the production. Percival will also kill the SCVs, but again, he doesn't have as much of a handle on the production himself. As every SCV goes down. Does delay the factory. And in the end, we're going to be forcing the lift off. We're going to be forcing all these buildings to lift. But again, you can see ByuN came with that racks. He just has to make sure nothing gets out. Yeah, cancel the Marine. Does cancel the Marine here. Looking at the units tab, ByuN has 6 Reapers to the 5 Reapers of Percival. ByuN did miss a Reaper. True, did miss one. Here comes a great migration. We're floating over. Now, even though ByuN is ahead, technically there is a world where maybe Percival can out control, but it shouldn't happen, right? Like the thing is that ByuN, he should be able to maintain himself. I mean, even here he's making extra Reapers is the issue. He's making 2 Reapers at a time, and Percival he can only make 1. That's why this is basically a build order win, like a build order win for ByuN. Like the fact that only 1 Rax was proxied is just brutal. You can see the difference, 8 Reapers to only 5, and then that's just purely because of the building placement. Getting up to 9 Reapers. Yeah, just diving in the army. We'll clean everything up, and with that, ByuN, he will take a lead here. GG gets called. ByuN takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN takes the lead in the series. Again, this was a build order win. Unfortunately, if you're in Percival's shoes, what's better in that position? Either both Raxes at home or both Raxes proxied. To have only 1 at home and 1 proxied, like, what can you do? Like, the problem there, as we saw, is that ByuN will kill the economy, but he can also camp one of the Raxes when it comes to the production. So ByuN, he'll just have a better economy. He'll also have more production. He'll have a larger army. And the only way back there, the only way to win for Percival is for ByuN to miscontrol. If ByuN miscontrol, then sure, there's a chance, but that would be the only chance. Never seen that before. It's happened a decent amount of times for us to like identify like the advantages and disadvantages, I would say. But yeah, it's just a really rough position to be in. We've seen this from I think we casted Clem. Was it Clem versus ByuN? I think Clem versus ByuN. Oh god. I'm trying to remember the map. Clan versus ByuN, I think it was like a reddish map. This was like maybe 2 years ago. Oh god. Post Gressvan. I think post Rise of the Station. Like a couple years ago. Maybe in the Crimson Court map pool, maybe. But yeah, it's rare, to be fair. It's rare, but it does happen. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to be loading into our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. We have the South Korean Protoss down in the series. We'll see if he bounce back. It is a Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shop Rebellion. It is ByuN. Crimson Laboratory. Not quite. Not quite. But yeah, we've to be fair, the scenario that we've casted a lot more is proxy versus proxy, like 2x Reaper versus 2x Reaper. That's when you force a base trade, and that becomes a lot more closer, a lot more intense. For now though, we're settling in. We're settling in. I'll look it up. ByuN versus ByuN from like 3 years ago. For now though, standard openers, this time there's no proxy, so Rax back at home, single gas opener out of ByuN, so Rax expands overall. ByuN does go for an SCV scout. This is rare. SCV scouts are very uncommon in TBT. So ByuN is just a little bit paranoid, and he wants to make sure that Percival doesn't react with a proxy after losing to a proxy in game 1. So this is a safe reaction here by ByuN, but it does set ByuN slightly behind, as he has 1 worker that isn't mining compared to Percival, who always workers are, you know, mining, being efficient. So again, ByuN does poke in. Pokes in, pulls away. He had the SCV to tank his shots, but ByuN, he has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. He may still lose a worker. Percival does respect it. So we kind of deflect, we bounce off each other. Again, the tall grass here is critical. It's kind of a big aspect here of the early control, and we do see the armies actually pass by each other. Oh no! Percival, he moves out, ByuN moves in. ByuN will catch 1, 2 Marines, nice pickups. And he may even kill the Reaper as well. Yeah, he gets the first 2 shots off. No, not like this, no! Yeah, and with that Percival, he's in dire straits. He does get a Marine though. He can try to hold on, but again, he'll lose 2 Marines with the SCV. He's forced out of his natural, and ByuN back at home can chill, can settle in. Oh my god, ByuN rushing to a 3rd CC. A hyper greed here by ByuN, going for a 3rd CC before Starport, getting further ahead economically. Meanwhile, Percival going for a standard 1-1-1. So ByuN is being greedy. ByuN is going to be the defender. Percival is going to be the aggressor, and the pressure's on Percival to find some counter damage. Pressure is on. Hard lead, that's it. It was in the same map pool as Radisson Station. I was looking up the series. Alcyone, Hecate, Oceanborn, Site Delta, Solaris. Yeah. There's a game on Hard Lead where Clem and ByuN, they proxy reapered each other. That was in ESL Open Cup Americas. That was back in 2023. Found it, I found it. Hard Lead. God, that was in the same apple as Site Delta? Jesus. I thought Site Delta was earlier than that. I think it stayed on an extra map pool, I guess. But okay. Here we go. So from here again, ByuN, he does have a very greedy follow-up. His CC's already done. Checking the vision of Percival, I believe he has not seen. Yeah, he hasn't seen anything. So 0 scouting out of Percival. The problem is that right now, Percival, he doesn't know how aggressive or how defensive he needs to be. Right now, he's building up into the mid-game by getting his 3rd CC. And after all that early economic damage, I mean, it makes sense for him to be a little bit more tentative here. But it does mean that ByuN is getting further ahead. There's a scan. He sees the orbitals already done. Percival knows. Percival has to move out. He has to push. Percival cannot let ByuN get the store base up and running. Otherwise, he will fall further behind. So Percival does bring everything together. He has researched Interference Matrix. He's got 1, 2 Ravens. So 2 Ravens. Tanks on the high ground. And can ByuN hold on? Does try to bait the army into tank fire. I believe this tank is within range of the gas. Yep. Gas carriage is under fire as well. So he is getting damage. Ooh, at the same time, Literally does get into the middle line. 4 CVs. Ay, that should not be happening, but 4 CVs do go down. Do we get 5? Do we get 6? Wow, 6 SCV kills. Ay. Brutal damage. Percival does turn around. Here come the disables. Oh, never mind. But again, he has a lot of disables in his Ravens. Does get turned away by the Vikings. Percival still looking for a way in. Percival still looking for damage. As the Viking count is actually in favor of Percival. Okay. He's in favor. This Percival does get within range of the Gas Geyser. Oh, going for the auto turrets as well. Okay, bold move. Yeah, it does commit in. That's a lot of turrets. Breaks through the tanks, breaks through the Vikings as well. And Percival, he has done it. He has broken the natural. Catching out more SCVs. And ByuN is hurting. Yeah, ByuN is hurting here. As ByuN will now lose that economic advantage. Ravens, now there's no disables. Uh-oh. And ByuN collapses in. He extends in from behind, getting us over the tanks. The tanks are exposed. And that's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be 3 tanks going down. Does he get 4? He does. He cleans up everything. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN, he may have lost part of his mineral line, but again, Percival, he spent all of his energy on auto turrets, so no disables are available. And with that, Percival, he'll lose his army. ByuN, he's counterattacking, he has momentum. And ByuN may just snowball out of control. Look at the tank out here, 5-2. 4 of them load up. He's crazy. Jesus. Okay, ByuN does back off. Making his way towards the natural. Tanks do siege. Tanks siege up. Oh my god. And massive tank bullies. Likewise, 1 tank is behind the mineral line. ByuN slims in, wants that tank. Won't get it. Oh my god, he does. Still gets the tank. Does shut it down. No mining here at the natural. And again, Percival, he's just punished. Punished for committing too hard into the natural ByuN. Oh, that ByuN is gaining a further lead. Getting his 4th base. Getting his 4th on location. Moving out with the 2nd army. ByuN still maintains a tank lead. This Percival, he attempts to expand. Oh, tank gets caught out. He gets 1, he gets 2. No, yeah, he gets 2 tanks go down. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN just pulling Percival apart. Main army does rotate. This, of course, confirms that Percival wants to expand here on the left-hand side. And ByuN, he wants that expansion. Sieging up on top of the high ground. Yeah, tank shots are going off. Oh my god, yeah, massive tank blows on the Marines. 1 tank goes down. And here come the rally, here come the reinforcements. GG gets called, ByuN overwhelms, and ByuN takes game number 2. GG. Whew, GG, well played. ByuN, he does extend his lead. He does extend his lead here in the series. And Percival, he's up against the wall. Again, Percival, he was in a good position. I appreciated him denying mining at the natural base, laying siege upon the Gas Geyser, catching out a couple of stray units here and there. But for him to commit with the Ravens was a choice that he made. It meant that he no longer had any disables. It meant that he couldn't support his army with auto turrets. He spent all of his turrets at the natural to deal economic damage, which he did do, but it meant that he was vulnerable. His army was vulnerable. He got surrounded. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he collapsed on the army and just took it from there. It's a very patient player to ByuN, very patient. And I do think that Percival, he missed some opportunities early on there to attempt to break through and to attempt to punish a 3rd. Well, it's a little bit tentative with his Ravens. But here we go. Here we go. We're loading into that 3rd game, potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want to see game 4. I want to see game 5, but the pressure is on Percival, and we are loading into a very small map. We're going to be loading into Tourmaline. Oh boy. A smaller map of the map pool. Aggression is favored here. Do we proxy? Do we go for a 2-base move outs? Let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out. Spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the South Green Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing himself, currently teamless, and down in the series. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. The pressure is on. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Terran player. We have the Red Terran himself representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. Here we go. We are going to be building up. And we're settling in. So far, the first Rax is back at home. True. No proxy. No proxies. We're calming down. I'm ready for breakfast. 2:30 p.m. badly. Gonna make some pancakes. There we go. So far, we're selling in. So far, standard openers. Single gas opener out of ByuN. Sorry, single gas opener out of Percival. Likewise, single gas opener out of ByuN as well. Going for a Rax expand into a later factory. So far, so good. Again, there's no cheese, no shenanigans, no proxies, nothing out on the map. Not yet. Again, we're on Tourmaline. You don't have to proxy to be aggressive on this map. And something that's quite popular here as well, which we could see from either player, is a 2-port, 2-base all-in. Going for a second starport into extra Vikings. Into a 2-base move-out. We'll keep an eye on our players. The more modern variation is off of a Raven opener. Just as a heads up. It's often Raven, then into Vikings, then into Liberator. But we'll discuss it further if we confirm. ByuN is moving out. Oh. And the armies they do deflect. Nice shots there from Percival. Percival he does get away. Difference, of course, is that Percival did sustain some hull damage or some actual damage on the Marine, but the bunker is not done, and Percival pulls back. Behind this, we have our 1-1-1 setups. Starports are on the way, and eyes are open, looking for a second starport. Or looking for a Raven opener, even. Reapers are poking, they get one, they get 2 SCVs. And 2 SCVs go down. Already, we do see ByuN being more aggressive as well. Bearing in mind, last game we went for a 3rd CC before starport. This time a straight up 1-1-1. There's the tech lab, and do we go for the add-on swap? No, medevac first. Okay, never mind. We're going for the early tank drop. So Percival is being hyper aggressive. He's going for the early tank into medevac, into drop across the map. ByuN is going to be opening up a Raven, a much more standard opener so far by ByuN. Early tech lab here, in my mind, screams early stim. But Percival's getting ready for his move out, his push. As he can load up that tank and send it across the map. Yeah, tank has arrived. And here comes Percival. Now, as you can imagine, Percival cannot lose this. If he loses this medevac with this tank, that's game. So it's a little bit risky, but it's a big commitment here from Percival. He's moving, he's pushing. Behind this, there will be 2 Ravens. As Percival pokes in. Spots the depot. He's going for the mineral. Jesus, he's going straight for the mineral line. Thankfully, no cyclone. So Percival can pick. He can lift up. He can lift. Pulls away at the same time. Hellions towards the natural. Auto tower does defend. And so far, decent damage here by Percival. He has killed one SCV. I mean, he wants more. Oh, the cyclone comes in. Cyclone does come in. Doesn't quite lock on. 3 SCVs going down. And Percival gets out. Whew. Okay, he does get out. Behind this 3rd CC for both players, we're both building up into the mid game. So there's no 2-base all in, just aggression early on by Percival. Thankfully, he does escape with the tank. We'll see ByuN, he has dive potential. He has how many Hellions? 6? 5. 5 Hellions. With the Ravens, with the tank, with the bunker, Percival should be fine. Yeah, ByuN pokes in. Pulls away. These buildings are not fleshy walls. I don't understand. Oh no. We need an infested Terran skin. Copia. It's a bit of a shame we never quite got there. Never got there. As Percival, again, he retained the early tank, so he does have the tank lead. Jesus. Up to 4 tanks, double the tank count. Hellions, they're built to harass. But in a head-on fight, they can't really do much here outside of buffer. Okay, going for the counterattack. ByuN has his triple Raven. One of the Ravens takes a lot of damage. Oof. Bit of miscontrol here by ByuN, throwing away 2 Hellions. 2 Hellions get thrown away, and drop into the main base was distracting him. As we are wasting energy here on these auto turrets. Or forcing to spend energy, I should say. Again, Percival's army is looking terrifying. Up to 5 tanks. ByuN does move out. Now, ByuN does have the Raven lead. So ByuN is up in Ravens, but ByuN is also behind in Vikings. So the goal here should be for Percival to zone away the Ravens with the Vikings. ByuN is moving in. Can he catch other tanks? That does can. There's Massive. There's Massive. Oh my god, the Massive Sable. They're catching out every single tank. Where are the Vikings? No! The tank's going to go down. Vikings are completely out of position. Percival caught with his pants down, and with that, he will lose the engagement. He will lose the position. He will lose the fight. He might just lose the game. Ay, ay, ay. He had the tools to defend. Just the Vikings, they were off doing their own thing. They're off on the right-hand side. Massive tank shots. And with that, GG gets called. Ay, ay, ay. And ByuN, he will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, Percival, he was up in tanks, up in Vikings. We didn't mention that the role there for all those Vikings was to zone away the Banshee. Sorry, zone away the Ravens, I meant to say. Zone away the Ravens. Again, he had a heavy Viking counter. If they can zone away the Ravens, then we never see a disable. We never see the tanks broken in such a way. But the Vikings that were off on the right-hand side, it looks like he was paranoid about a doom drop, about a drop into his main base. So he was patrolling the area outside of his main instead of protecting his tanks, as he did not see the move out. He failed to see the move out. He didn't know how much danger he was in. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. Congratulations to ByuN, as ByuN does claim the series. GG, well played. GG, well played. Congratulations to ByuN. And my condolences to Percival. One wrong move, one wrong misstep, and you will, or you can lose the game. Again, TVT and StarCraft in general is just very unforgiving like that. Very unforgiving. GG. And with that, congratulations. Congratulations to ByuN, does claim the series. My condolences to Percival. But again, shout out to Percival for making it to the finals regardless. To make it to the finals, to beat sOs, and to make it this far in the tournaments. It was a very impressive run here by Percival. Very impressive. GG, well played. With that, we have the rest of our schedule. Here we go. So this is our Wednesday morning cast. Wednesday morning, we just wrapped up with PiGosaur Cup, but later on this evening, we would have been live with the Wardy TV Monday broadcast, but I believe I still don't have those replays. I still don't have those matches. So most likely we will not be casting the Wardy TV Monday. Most likely we'll have an afternoon off. Most likely. Just double checking here. Yeah. So we'll be having the afternoon off, so no cast this afternoon, bear that in mind. We might stream some Final Fantasy, or I might have a cheeky ladder session, but when it comes to casting on the CranKy Ducklings, that will not be happening. So no cast this evening. Meanwhile, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days straight of Home Story Cup Group D and Home Story Cup playoffs are going to be taking place over the next 4 days. That is going to be a replay catch-up cast, of course. We have the Pond cast tomorrow evening, we have MSO Saturday evening, and we have Sparkling Tuna Cup Sunday evening as well. So for the most part, 2 casts today, but as I just mentioned, we will not be having a Wardy TV Monday broadcast this afternoon, just as a heads up. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. You will get a link to our Patreon page, so you can help support us there if you wish. Likewise, you can actually see the Patreon goal just under my portrait, just under the cam, pappy. can see our goals there. Currently we do earn 601 USD a month out of our current goal of 670, and again 100% of that money goes towards our tournaments. It all goes towards our tournaments, our open cups, and our amateur events as well. You can help us grow our tournaments via the Patreon. You can help us grow. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you see something that you like here, and if it's at a really rough time zone or time slot for you, then consider checking out the VODs. We do stream and we do cast on a daily basis. Plenty of tournaments, plenty of StarCraft, plenty of games are going on. And exclamation mark or YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. Check out our YouTube channel. YouTube is where all the VODs are uploaded on a daily basis. Plenty of content, plenty of VODs, plenty of StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. It is 2:30 p.m., 2:35 p.m. here in the afternoon, and I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go get some rest, and of course get some food ready for the bunnies as well. Get them some food, and look after them as well. So again, thanks for watching. Again, I might go live on my personal channel, exclamation mark light in the chats. I do stream occasionally on my channel, sometimes some StarCraft, sometimes some other games like Final Fantasy or Spider-Man or Final Fantasy or or something else going on there. You can find me on my personal channel. I do not stream here. CranKy Ducklings, we reserve this for StarCraft casting and StarCraft related content. Other content is on our personal channels. Divinity, true. We've been playing through Divinity slowly but surely, getting through it in preparation for the new Divinity game as well. True. Divinity's been a lot of fun. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Spider. We'll get there. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for some Home Story Cup or for the podcast. See you tomorrow. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.